How's it going, guys? We're just doing a starter motor on a LS Gen 3, and there's a couple of ways to do it. This is a ls1 5.7 litre. They call it a Gen 3 or ls1. There's multiple different ones they call it. Well, it's either that, Gen 3, 5.7, ls1. We're doing a starter motor, like I said, and there's a few different ways of doing it. First of all, as you can see, I've dropped the steering rack. Just getting underneath. And the main exhaust that comes down here, there's two options. Either you can drop the steering rack and leave it hooked into the tie rods for your wheel alignment won't be adjusted or anything, and you disconnect it at the steering wheel here and disconnect your pipes and your mounts. But the thing is, this last one at the back here was a bit of a doozy to reach to, and I needed to open-ended ring spanner, so I just got a 19 and I cut a notch into it. Where is it? No, it's not. Oh, there it is. So I've cut this open like that so that it can fit over the end of the pipe. Well, it's a bigger pipe up here, as you can see, and I couldn't get to it, so everything was all done, all the pipes and the mount bolts. There's the bolts there, and I shifted the steering rack out, and then I had enough to reach to it to crack it, and I had to use my other one on this end to crack it, and then this one to get it the rest of the way. And before I did the steering rack, I unbolted the starter motor. There's two bolts going vertical, and so I did the steering rack, undid the vertical bolts, and then I started on the steering rack and pinion here. And that's when I got to that dilemma. I've just dropped that, and obviously you'll have to re-bleed your steering rack, but it's much easier than other people have said than doing your mounts of your header. So if you take your header off, there's a chance of snapping a bolt, and then you'll have to get it the stud tapped and all this stuff like that, which is a bit of you have to take your heads off, or if you've got someone that's really good, and have to re-drill the stud out to unwind it. See, there's one broken one there that's been broken for a while. And yeah, so now I'm just in the stage of putting the new one in. And a lot of thing with doing starter motors is how the cog engages to the flywheel. This one's really dirty because the main seal was gone on this, and the person doesn't want me to redo the main seal. Watch out the way, kids. Wonder Woman wants to help. And so usually you shim it to get the right engagement of the wheel. Okay, so they have these little shim plates you place on there, and what I'm just doing is I'm going to check it that the right width is exactly the same. And I've got here a vernier caliper. I'll just turn it on, zero it off, and just to get an estimated idea. Watch out, Michael. I'm just going to... Michael, I can't see. Michael, what number is it?
3 more.
What?
What's that number?
25.
25.
86.
Yeah.
So that one there's 2586. That one is 2529. And then...
Onholden.
No. And then I'll use my odometer And that's about a 30-29 there,
No, Michael.
so that it's lined up with that
No.
face. Excuse me, Michael. And that one looks fairly good too. So that's a 29.53. 29, 30, 28. I'm just using my eye. Michael, hop off my back. And that is a 39.6. Just off. Yeah, so it's pretty close. They are a fairly similar design, and usually shim plates come in millimeters anyway. I'll switch this off.
And this one.
Because it's the face of this one that sits up flush, and then it
Ow.
changes the distance of where this cogwheel engages, and this cogwheel here looks totally different design. But basically, whānau, that's just the way how it's done. You got to drop your steering rack, and is way more effective. Reason why I took all the pipes off is because they're known for breaking. Be careful with that, Michael.
Okay.
They're known for breaking inside here, not on the thread down the tips here. That little
But don't
nub,
throw it, Michael.
if you want to call it, that gets a little hairpin crack, and even up top there. I'll replace those O-rings. I just noticed it's got O-rings up there. And then I'll bolt the next one in, do the cables, which are right there, 2 cables, bolt it in, and then put the steering rack back together. And then I'll put the exhaust on, and all done. But yeah, it's that last one at the back, that one there, which is really hard to reach to, and the only way I could reach at it with my spanners was to shift the whole steering rack out a bit, and then I could reach to it and crack it, and then I used my open-ended that I made. Don't scare the cat. Hope that helps, and take care. All the best. Holden forever. Represent. Got the VN in the back, the blue line, and cheers.